Two wheels are better than four. From the mountains to the shore, find us rolling up to the pub. We're 17 Scooters Club.
Okay.
Hi guys, welcome to 17 Scooters Club. It is
Welcome.
Liv and Kate today. No Natalie, she's still frolicking around. Actually, tonight she's at a concert in Santa Barbara. She's made it home. She's
I was
got
just
her
gonna ask,
dog.
where the heck is she? She's just been traveling the West Coast.
Yeah, she took 2 weeks off to travel the West Coast, went up to Oregon, went horseback riding. What's
Concert,
it
Morgan
called?
Wallen,
Morgan Wallen.
Bend.
Um, hmm and yeah, she's a jet setter. But now she's back visiting her friend in Santa Barbara, and they're going to a concert tonight. So, and I went to a concert last night. I went to Bailey Zimmerman.
Oh,
It was
was it good?
actually it was really good. He has a crazy amount of energy. He sounds like he's jumping around the stage. He sounds amazing. Like you know
Really?
how some people are like they're performers and sometimes they're singers and sometimes they're neither and they're just really good in the studio. Like he
Yep.
the way his concert started, his it made it look like kind of like a malfunction. So sorry, this is going to be a what's it called? I'm gonna give it all away. What do you call that? Not a teaser.
Uh,
Spoiler. It's gonna be a
yeah.
spoiler. Um, like there was like sparks and stuff. The lights were like going in and out, kind of making it look like everything was going wrong. And then it would like a reset scene on all of his back lights, and they were like struggling. It took him like an hour to get on between the opener because they were struggling with stuff. So I was like, oh shit, like things are about to burn down. And then all of
Oh
a
no.
sudden, the most redneck thing happens. He shoots like something like shoots him up like he's on a trampoline or something, and he's like flailing in the air, and then he like goes back down, and then he lands and he grabs onto a rope, and the biggest like redneck thing, he swings on a rope over the drummer, over the entire stage and up to the front, and just like has this like stumbling landing, and he's like, hey everybody, and then from there it was just like ADHD energy the whole time, and he sounded really good.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm like, that was the most redneck thing I've ever seen on a stage. Like to
He was
just
rope
swing out
swinging.
on a rope. Yeah, and I'm like, that is actually it was kind of cool. But then that was like the most exciting part. Like I wanted him to like do
Still
some
do fun
more
things.
things, and it didn't happen, which is
Uh,
fine. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
well, speaking of concerts, I have bad news about my Big Booty concert. Not bad
What
news, but
happened?
unfortunate news for me. So it got canceled and then it got rescheduled for some Friday in September. Fine, Friday night, September in New York City, and it's in Central Park, so it's not as far as it was before. It is the night before my ultra race.
You
So
just booked your ultra race like 2 days ago, didn't you?
I did. So I
Can
will
you
be
get out
big
of it?
booty in and up. I'll be raving in New York City at like 12 a.m., 1 a.m., and then I will be running an ultra marathon in the woods a few hours later.
You're just gonna have to sleep the entire day, and then like it'll just be like electrolytes, protein, and shit. Like you're gonna rave,
Mhm.
but like that's just gonna be your pump up rave for your
Yeah,
run.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
like
I'm gonna just sleep
I
all
would be
day,
like I
knock out my
couldn't have a
brain.
sip of alcohol.
No, no.
Like you bring seltzers. Seltzers are like the ultimate party hack when you don't want to drink.
I feel like my only saving grace is going to be that last year during this same race that I do every year, when times got tough, we just listened, just like we did when we were in California. We started
Mm-hmm.
at the newest Big Booty and we just listened backwards, and that's what a group of us did during the race. We just turn it on and just listen backwards, so I could be like, "Yeah, I just saw them
Yeah,
5 hours
yeah.
ago."
Does anyone have like YouTube Premium? Because the problem is, oh, well, we'll go there in a second. Problem is, they keep getting pulled from like, I'll
Spotify.
look right now, pulled from Spotify, and that's how I listen. And it happened last halfway through our trip in San Diego, which was in the first week of May, and they haven't been on Spotify since. So I've
They're
been
on
having
Spotify
trouble.
now,
Are
but
they?
I don't know if it's specifically them. Do you
I
listen to
think
the
somebody
blue or the red? Is it like a blue
red.
picture? Okay, the red is back up, but it alternates with the blue. But also, if you go on
Oh,
SoundCloud,
so yeah,
SoundCloud for free, it's a little sketchy, but you can find them. It just doesn't
they're
flow
back
as nice.
up. Okay.
Yeah,
26 is zero. Okay, so starting volume 20 is the only one they have. They don't have what looks like they don't have this is weird. There's a few
it
that
goes.
aren't up. Like 25
I
and 26 aren't up
yeah,
right now. But it's good. The rest of them, I can deal with that. I can deal with that.
yeah, I've been listening to 24. No, 25 and 26. The red one, they're at the bottom. They're out of order.
Mine said
There might be
zero
another
minutes.
one.
On 25 and 26, it says 0 minutes. And that's when they have like the 18 minutes like
Oh,
message that's like 18 seconds message that's like, hi
yeah.
guys, we'll be back soon.
Well,
We've
that's
been
it.
flagged. That's always also been a like a question that I'm like, did they because they release one mix every probably like hour
6 months.
hour every 6 months.
I think
And
so.
I think that's enough time to contact all the artists that they have in it and get approval and be like, listen, I'm just putting this out there. They probably don't monetize it because it's everyone else's music. So I think they're just putting it out there for like for vibes and so people go to their concerts, which is how they
Yeah.
make their money. But I don't think that they get approved um, for any of it.
Well,
Like,
isn't it if, well, you would know this better. If you use 15 seconds or less, you don't need their permission or something?
oh, I don't
Someone told me
know.
that, but I'm not sure.
Is it?
But they also do make their own music that sometimes
Yeah.
they mix in. So I think you're right. They make these mixes that like so many people know, and then they're like, "Hey, also listen to our music."
Yeah, I think right now that's just their like most popular thing because everyone knows those songs.
Yeah.
Um, so the songs are already famous when they release it, and then you kind of figure them out as DJs. For those of you who are not talking and unfamiliar with big booty mixes, it's basically just DJs who put like an hour long mix out every 6 to 8 months to a year, and it's all of your favorite songs and some throwback songs and some random like memes
Voice
all mixed
clips.
in. Yeah, voice clips. Um, and it's really good. They release it as like a podcast format. And so it's an hour long and it's really good to run to and really gets you moving. But since it's none of their music, or at least most of it is not their music, it's like often copyrighted and pulled off of Spotify. I think that legally you could use 15 seconds of it. I think Spotify's like, I'm not having any of this. Like,
Yeah,
and
Spotify's
so
like,
that's why
no.
they pull it down every so often. And sometimes it was pulled off of YouTube like probably a
Oh,
week or
really?
two ago for one of their newest ones. So I think they're having trouble with somebody that they're using in one of the newest ones. Like someone's being a turd.
I
At
recommend
that
getting
point, it's like,
SoundCloud,
yeah.
and then you can just look it up, and you kind of got to click on a couple of them, but then eventually you find it.
At that point, it's kind of just like, hey, this is basically just free. Um, what's it called? Like people are remembering.
Advertising.
Oh my god, I love that song. I got to add that to a playlist. You know.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I don't really get why some record labels are like you can't do that without paying us or whatever. But I don't know.
And it's also titled a mix. It's not like they're saying it's theirs. They're just
Yeah.
saying it's a mix, and the whole premise is that everyone has big booties and big booty Judy, and they have all these funny names, but then there's these villains who are coming to steal their gluteus maximus, which is their big butts, and they need their big butts to dance to the big booty
That is
mix.
really
And
funny.
so
I
when they dance, they battle off the bad guys. So it's
The
a whole
funny part
storyline.
about them, and then I promise we will move
And then
on.
we'll get into it.
Oh, actually, after that, I have questions about what your race, your 24-hour race is.
Okay.
But anyways, I, when I first started listening to them, I didn't realize that they had it like when you're clicking on it, it's basically like clicking on a podcast. And I listen to
Mhm.
my podcast at like 1.5 speed.
Oh,
Sometimes I've tried to chill out and listen to it at like 1.2 speed, but I was at a point where I was like going through audiobooks like so fast. So I was listening to it on like 1.8 speed. And then that's when I was running all the time and you guys recommended it. And so I put it on and I'm like, wow, like this is kind of crazy. Like, and do you know how you kind of, your body gets used to like a speed when you're listening to it? But I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, like this is some chipmunk music. And then I was listening to it with Natalie, and Natalie's like, what the hell? Why does it sound like this? And I'm like, I don't know. And basically, that's how I figured out. I was listening to their mixes on like 1.8 speed, and it was insane.
That's
And then I put it
chaos.
back. No, it got me moving. I was running. That's for sure. Give me like a 7 minute mile, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recently changed it. Well, not recently, it was like a year ago, and it's a lot chiller and more calm. But anyways, your race. So do you guys all run together, like as a group?
So it's a 1.6 mile loop. Half of it is paved, and the other half is a mountain trail. And it goes up. It's called the Mofo, the big hill. That's what they named it. And at the top, there's an outdoor church, which is really cool. And
Okay.
then you go down the hill. And so basically, you can sign up for a 3 hour, a 6 hour, a 12 hour, or a 24 hour. So this year I did 24 a while ago. Then last year I did 12, and this year I'm going back to 24. And basically, the name of the game is how many loops, the 1.6 mile loops, can you do in your allotted time. And you're free to stop. And people set up campsites along the trail. You bring a tent and like pit crew, and you could grill and
Wait,
barbecue
that
and
sounds
stuff.
fun. I want to be pit
Yeah,
crew.
yeah, mom and dad come, they grill John fishes. I have like my tent. It's like a full camping setup. People set up different stations. There's like this one guy, he does like the Asian persuasion station because he's Asian, and he has like the little kitty that goes like this and like little tea
Oh, I
lights.
love that.
Some
That's
of
funny.
Yeah, and some of the girls have they do like a unicorn tent, and they put those neon like bar lights. Really like it's
Oh
so
yeah.
cool, like a neon thing. And we do friendship bracelets, like that's what I always make. But basically, it's however many loops you can get in your allotted time. And so, yeah, I always run with somebody else, but her goals are bigger than my goals for this one. So I
It's
think we're
good
going
to
to
have
stick
somebody
together.
like that though.
Yeah, I think we're going to stick together for a while. And then when she keeps going and I die, I will just like slowly loop around. But
Yeah.
it's only a mile and a half. So you end up coming across a bunch of people that you know. You're like, oh, hi, or somebody runs past you, or they're like, hey,
That's
come do a
fun.
loop with me. Mom and dad are allowed to
Oh,
come
that's
and do a loop.
fun. They'll do a loop
Friends.
with you. You can have like a
Mhm.
pacer, but um I've always wanted to do like a gourmet, like what's it called, like gourmet campfire food. Remember when it was one of your birthdays, I would make you guys come over, maybe it was Keely's birthday actually, but I cooked like a gourmet like campfire dinner in the
Hmm.
driveway. And like I'd
Hmm.
love to do that. I think it's so much fun. And so I'm like,
Yeah,
how cool would it be to like just be cooking gourmet food out there and be like, hey, y'all want like some fire food? Um
it's funny.
be like a little town.
So people for this race, they like there's some hardcore people. Like if you go 100 miles, you win a belt buckle. Like that's the goal. Um,
Oh,
Yeah. And so they bring their gels. They don't always eat gels. Like ultra running, you eat like real food, but it's like food that you can eat on the go. And so of course mom and dad came and they were getting a little crazy with their campfire gourmet, which I didn't mind because I wasn't doing 100 miles. I think I did 35. So
still.
they're out there barbecuing. Andy brought like these, I don't know, some type of meat that he was grilling. There was some type of like potato. And at the very end, this guy, I think he got like 80 something miles. His name is Matt. He's amazing. He came up to me and he was like, it was 3 a.m. and somehow the smell of whatever your parents were barbecuing was wafting across the lake. And oh, that's what got me through. He was like, every time I looped,
Aw.
that's all I smelled. And I was like,
I
you
hope
can,
that
he was
he
like,
got like some at the end.
he didn't. He was like, I was too afraid to ask you guys for food. And I was like,
Aw.
no, that's literally anytime.
Aw, this year he'll know. This year he'll know.
Yeah.
That's funny. But
Campfire
yeah, like
barbecue.
I love those videos of like the people who go out into the woods and they're just they set up camp and they pull out a steak and potatoes and like
Mhm.
7 sticks of butter and
I was
they'll
gonna say
like
the big
cook.
chunk of butter.
I'm butter girl. And then
Hmm.
like they chop up the what's it called, mushrooms that they foraged, and then they pick some like thyme. And yeah, I want to do that. That's my
I love
Friday
those
night.
too.
That's my jam. rude that you have to go up and down a hill for a mile and a half. Like you go up a hill and then you go down a hill. I'm like, they couldn't have done a better terrain.
Yeah, I think it's like 4,600 feet of elevation, over 4,000, almost 5,000.
Wow.
Well, that's what I
And
got last time for
each
30
loop.
something miles. No.
Oh, okay. I'm like, that's how
I'll
does
have
that
to
work?
I'd
My
have to
brain
look and
wasn't.
see what it is, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a mountain. It's a mountain race. It's called it's the
Well,
trail running festival.
that's cool. I would definitely do that and be like a pit crew.
Yeah, it's fun.
Anyways, um, I had a topic this week. I actually did research, um, and it stemmed from if you have researching the terrain.
The terrain?
I saw you searching something. Is it for your topic? I
What I
wasn't
sent
sure if
you?
I'm cut. Well, I just don't know if I'm cutting you off or not.
Oh, no, 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 you're good. I was looking at elevation gain.
Okay, all right, that's what I was wondering. Okay, so how, we've all seen the CEO cam where the guy who was cheating on his wife um like got the kiss cam and they were hiding. He got fired from his job. Blah blah
At
blah.
the Coldplay
And
concert.
at the Coldplay concert, and we all and I don't know if you've seen it, but it's been going around that The Simpsons predicted that,
Oh, damn
and
with
so
that.
I'm like, oh yeah, I have a what's it called? I have a topic. The Simpsons predicted it, and then let me see. I pulled it up.
Apparently, the
Most
Simpsons predict everything.
okay. Well,
They
that is
predict
my topic tonight. So
Woo!
yes, so basically, The Simpsons did not predict the kiss cam. Um, they just had an episode. Like I should have looked up the actual episode it was, but basically the two main characters went to a baseball game, not a concert, and they got on the kiss cam and they kissed. And but
Oh,
that was it. It wasn't any like they're a married couple. So like they
yeah.
didn't predict that. People are just really excited to jump in and like say that. But anyways, The Simpsons do have a long running reputation for eerily predicting the future events. Some are likely coincidences or satire that later align with reality. Surprising number of them are accurate enough to be noteworthy. And here are some of the most talked about predictions. And before I jump into them, I was reading about, or I think it was just a reel with one of the writers of The Simpsons. And somebody's like, so how are you predicting the future? How's it happening? And he's like, honestly, like these aren't things just like coming to me and I feel like compelled to write them. I just write them and somehow it keeps happening. So like he's very vocal about being like, I have no idea. Like I acknowledge that like sometimes I am predicting the future, which is crazy, and I don't know when it's going to happen or when it's not. Like I'm not feeling a certain way about the things that I write that do predict the future. I just write it and it comes true a weird amount of times. So,
That's crazy.
first thing, smartwatches. Predicted in Lisa's Wedding episode that aired in 1995. In this episode, Lisa's fiance uses a wristwatch to make a phone call, a full 2 decades before the Apple Watch became a thing. And in 1995, if you saw somebody using a watch to make a phone call, that's odd. But then that's also like you're making a spy movie. What kind of gadgets are the spy people going to have? You know, like what's a coincidence
Yeah.
and what is not.
I remember the first smartwatch I saw was in college, and that must have been 2011, 2012. And I remember someone had it, and I remember I was like, this is weird, but can I ask you questions about it? Like, how does it work? Where's your phone? Does it connect? Why would you need one? So that's crazy that in the
Was it like a
90s.
Fitbit or was it like actual smartwatch? Like Apple smartwatch?
No, it was like this silver looking watch that he could get like messages on. And I was like, what is
It
that?
probably
Like, I
weighed
remember
100 pounds and cost like $1 million.
probably.
Interesting. Okay, second one is Disney buying the 20th Century Fox. So, predicted
Hmm.
in When You Dish Upon a Star episode that aired in 1998, the episode shows the 20th Century Fox as a division of Walt Disney Company, which actually happened in 2019. This one is like, okay, is this just like insider knowledge? Is this just like, okay, you could predict Disney's
Long time.
massive, this happens, like, yeah, that is a long time. Or is it just like this, who, I'm trying to think, was it the chicken or the egg? Like, does that put in your mind, oh, maybe we should buy, like,
Oh.
maybe we should die by the 20th Century Fox? Or is it a prediction? Three is the big one, Donald Trump becoming president. Predicted in Bart to the Future in 2000, Lisa mentions inheriting quite a bunch of grunge from President Trump. A joke at the time, but Trump was elected in 2016, so 16 years later.
These are all
Um,
quite far. I wonder if
yeah,
I wonder if you're right, like the chicken or the egg, because I've always heard this. I'm so glad that you're doing this episode because I've heard these before, like not them, but I've heard people like talk
heard
about it
about it.
before.
Mhm.
But maybe it is the opposite. Maybe the world like sees what they're doing and then is like, "Oh, wait, that's an awesome idea."
I wish I had the book name, but I remember studying a book in psychology, or I think it was social studies, but it was like a philosopher. And there's
Uh-huh.
this guy, philosopher. And basically, it was like, if you speak something, he was speaking about manifesting before manifesting kind of became like a woo woo, like girly thing to do, like in
Mhm.
these age, like everyone manifests. But basically, he was like, if you speak about it enough times, like no
It tricks
longer
your brain.
it's no longer fake, like it is truth to somebody, it's truth to you, like pathological lying. I remember having James, shout out
Mhm.
James, I was just gonna say ex-boyfriend, but shout out James, tried to tell me that, because I was always weirded out that he was really close to this one girl. Also, shout out Taylor. We're just going in today.
Name
What a
dropping today.
bitch. Um, they were like weirdly close, and I
Mhm.
remember being like, "Why? It's weird that you're hanging out alone with a girl. Like that's
Mhm.
weird." And we were studying this in social studies at the time in high school, and he was like, "You know what? Like if you're always paranoid that I'm gonna cheat, like it's probably gonna happen." And I'm like, and so he was basically like, "Oh no, you spoke it into existence. You made me cheat." And later
Oh
on,
God.
I did talk to him about how psycho and crazy he was. But anyways, all of that, um, all of that in the past, it's this is almost like they're speaking it into existence, like they're almost manifesting it, saying
Mhm.
all these people are watching it, there's probably some mystical power in the watching of it. um
Mhm.
yeah, so the next one is global pandemic, predicted in Marge and Change, aired in 1993, so it's as old as you. The Osca flu spreads rapidly due to poor international handling, eerily similar to how COVID 19 unfolded, including scenes of panic and people demanding a cure. That's
Mm.
pretty crazy. Five, murder hornets, Asian giant hornets. Predicted in Marge and Change, same as that one. Wow, that's kind of crazy. In the same episode, a crate labeled Killer Bees is accidentally released years before the 2020 pandemic over real life murder hornets. Do you remember those?
I do remember that.
I remember that like coming out and being like, "Oh my god, I love bees, but I can't."
I'm
Um,
scared of these ones.
I'm not smart enough to know the difference at this point. Number six, stock market crashes multiple times. The 2008 financial crash and various tech stock crashes were loosely referenced in older episodes, often through satire of Wall Street greed and economic bubbles. 7. Higgs boson. I thought it said Higgs Boston. Higgs boson, the God particle, predicted in Wizards of Evergreen Terrace, 1998. Homer writes an equation on a blackboard that's surprisingly close to the actual mass of Higgs boson discovered in 2012. I remember seeing this one go viral online and being like, how would the writers even know, like, to like
What to write
equation?
on there?
It's not like M equals X C squared. This is how great I was at
Yeah,
math.
whatever
That's
it
the
is.
wrong one. It was like an entire chalkboard of just nonsensical like equation, and it was almost correct. Almost like
That is
15 years
crazy.
prior. That is crazy to me. Three-eyed fish, environmental mutations. Predicted in 2 cars in every garage and 3 eyes on every fish, 1990. A three-eyed fish mutated by nuclear waste foreshadowed increasing awareness of environmental pollution real-world impact. Yeah. Okay, autocorrect fails. This one's kind of funny. Lisa on Ice, 1994. Now, this is before, I can't even remember, but this is like flip phone era, right? Like the very beginning of a flip cell phone, 1994.
I think
I'm gonna have to
it's
look
still
up.
brick phones
It's still
because
brick
I
phones.
remember mom had a brick phone, and then
Mom had a
I
brick
was born
phone
in.
well into our childhood.
Well, I remember the brick phone, but I remember flip phones, and that was like in the not late, but like 2005,
Yeah.
2006. So
Yeah,
it might be during the transition period. But yeah, definitely not iPhones.
definitely not iPhone. Basically, Dolph writes, "Beat up Martin on a Newton device, and it autocorrects to eat up Martha," long before autocorrect became infamous for its bizarre mistakes. That one is a weird one because that's hard
Right?
to even like predict autocorrect even being a thing,
Yeah,
let alone like something
it
autocorrecting to
actually
something else and then it being funny. Yeah.
funny.
The 10th one is Nobel Prize winner prediction. Predicted in elementary school musical in 2010 in a chalkboard betting pool. Millhouse picks Bent Holmstrom to win the Nobel Prize, which he did in 2016. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. So those are the top 10 most like noteworthy um, predictions of the future from them, which is kind of crazy.
That is great. Are they still making episodes right now?
I
I don't know. I don't
wonder.
watch it, so
I don't either. Um, Remember when there was this the Simpsons ride at Epcot
no.
or somewhere
Yes.
else?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think so. It was like a little cart thing that you rode around in.
I hated it. Yes, Simpsons still being produced. They give me weird vibes, especially like I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe that's another web of like the the Simpsons predicting the future. They've always
We
given me weird vibes, and I'm like, oh, maybe there's something weird about them.
There's
Anyways, yes,
something
The
wrong.
Simpsons are still being produced. In fact, Fox has renewed the show for another 4 seasons, extending it through the 2028-2029 broadcast season, which will be its
That's
40th
crazy.
season. This renewal guarantees new episodes through at least 900 episodes, according to Dr. Disney. I need to figure out who
Dang.
Dr. Disney is.
Yeah, who is Dr. Disney?
And
That's
Dr.
crazy.
Disney, you want to be on the show. It's not an
I
earthquake.
know you look
I'm
like, is that
literally
your
just
watch?
always doing laundry. Yeah. I hope you guys can't
So
hear it. It's just going to look a little cray cray.
no, you look like you're like listening to Big Booty on 1.8 again. All right. So I was thinking that whole time,
Like
and maybe you have the
Beelzebub.
answer to this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get into my topic in a second, but I was trying to think how your topic relates to mine because I do feel like there are some parallels, but my brain, I don't know, the abstract thinking just can't do it. So I need your brain help.
Okay, I just had an
So,
iced latte, so
okay. And you're shaken up, so you're good.
yeah.
Okay. So have you heard of when people say, like, oh my God, we live in a simulation? Like, do we live in a simulation?
I
Have you
hate
heard
that
that?
theory. But yes. Yeah.
Okay. So what have you, my second question is when you hear people say that, what is it that you think of, or what is it that they're normally talking about that you've heard, or do you
So
not
I
know?
think the simulation is just basically that everything that happens is already pre-planned. Oh, that kind of goes along
Yeah.
with the Simpsons. Anyways, basically, it's like there's no such thing as free will, but you think there is free will. But what I personally, when I started hearing the simulation theory, what
Mhm.
I would think of is like basically like us being teeny tiny little ants on like a little tiny like world map, and somebody like me or you sitting around like a table being like, I think Rhonda's gonna get cancer, and then you know what, Johnny's gonna get hit by a car, and you know what, she could win American Idol, but she's gonna shit her pants on a run today. Like, and then I'm like, I really hate this. Like, I don't like
Yeah.
thinking about it. Like, and then, yeah, that's basically my extent, because whenever someone talks about it, I'm like, you know what? I'm out. I just want to believe we have free will and then be out.
It's interesting that you say that because I hear it on the internet all the time, and in my head I thought the same thing, like without looking into it. I thought the same thing where it was like, yeah, just like we're all little like chess players, and then there's one larger being, and I'm like, how can that be? So I heard this theory the other day, and I had to actually like read it a couple times to for it to like click. So stick with me. So my topic is, do we live basically in a simulation? But it's not the simulation that you're thinking.
Okay.
So the idea is, what if the life that we live is essentially a coded, like a video game or a computer program? So think about, I'll start with computers. So think about computers. So we use the different codes. So HTML is like the one that you use to build websites. It's like the base. Like we're thinking about a triangle and we're at the bottom, like the biggest part. So HTML tells the computer like where everything goes. It says, okay, the text goes over here, the images go over here, the buttons go over here. It's like just the basic page structure. And then in the middle of the pyramid, there's this thing called CSS, and it adds like style. So like colors, font, layout. And then at the very tippy top, the littlest part of the triangle, there's JavaScript, and that makes things move or respond or be like animated. So the question that they are bringing up is, okay, what does this have to do with us in life? And the comparison, which I think you could dive real deep into, is, have you heard of your birth chart?
Yes.
Like astrology planets.
Oh,
So your
yeah.
birth chart, like, you know how everyone says like you're an Aquarius, oh, I'm a Taurus. It goes like way deep. Like there's houses, there's levels, there's degrees. It depends on when you were born, where you were born, latitude, longitude, like time of day, all this crazy stuff. So the theory that I heard that I really can't wrap my head around, but that's what we're talking about today. So think about your birth chart, depending on like where you're born, your
Wait, I
age, your
got the app.
time,
Let me pull it
location.
up.
And I emailed you yours. Your birth chart is like your HTML. So that's like your basis. That's the bottom of the triangle. So that's your structure. It maps out who you are at your core, and like it's like when, where you were born. Then the second level is like your environment and your genetics, like you said, your free will. So it's like how you look, how you speak, your energy levels. And that's basically similar to like your style, like the color and the font and whatnot. And at the very tippy top, how you act and how you react, your choices and your personality in motion, that's like JavaScript. That's like the interactive part. So they're comparing it. And basically, the idea is that with the planets and astrology, that depending on when you were born and your birth chart is basically coding to the universe, which is like a
Hmm.
crazy thing to think about. So similar, like life is like a game and you're the character, so you don't choose like your starting setup, but you can learn to understand your specific code and then move through the world, life, the game, more skillfully. And they point to like ancient people with astrology, like how did the Egyptians, like their pyramids all line up with astrology? You know how like ancient people were into astrology, they knew, like they used it for time, they used it for predictions, they used it for all this crazy stuff. Like I don't think in their minds they were like, oh, this is a code we need to crack, but like they clearly thought it was something that was important.
Yeah.
um the other thing I wanted to mention is, and this is part of it. So in astrology, there's 12 different houses. um and they represent different areas of life where your personal code plays out. So again, you were born and maybe you have, like, depending on your birth chart, you're more attracted to this or you're stronger in this. So now each there's like these 12 different houses and they have 12 different topics, and I put yours in your email and we can post them too, but they're like
I have to look
levels
at my
or their
email.
zones. So I sent it to both of you and that earlier today. So they show your different traits. So the 12 houses, they'll show how your different traits and your energies end up expressing themselves. So it's like your self-image, your communication, your relations, your career, creativity, all of those things. And they act almost like a module or a function, and they organize your experience and your challenges. So basically they're saying if you understand your houses, you can understand your strengths better. So like I'm thinking back to like video games. Like I used to love playing like the Shrek video game. So like you know how when you log into your video game, you get to pick your character and it says like different characters have different strengths. Like Shrek is really good at knocking things down, but Fiona could
Yeah.
like sing really good. So you're like, what's my quest?
Or it's like
So
the
like I
cars in
yeah,
like that you could choose in Mario Kart. Like some of them are like better than the others. Like you're not gonna have an even playing ground.
yeah,
Huh.
basically. So basically, they're saying that that's like your character, that's you. And then you, depending on your birth chart, you have all these different strengths and weaknesses. And you need to figure them out to then navigate through life uh, successfully. Like
Oh.
if
Okay.
I was Shrek in the video game, and and I had my quest was to, I don't know, go like tiptoe across something that probably wouldn't work. So I would have to figure out like, hey, I'm a large ogre and tiptoeing over here wouldn't work. So maybe let me like be a little more self-aware and figure something else out.
Put some
So
pillows on my feet.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
and it goes back to coding. So basically, they're saying that essentially your birth chart and you're coded to the planets and to astrology, and depending on the different houses and the degrees and whatever, that's how you operate in life. So for you, and I'll give a brief overview of yours. So you're an Aquarius, you're independent, curious, and you're built to question the system. Yes, your moon is in Libra, so you're emotionally balanced and you like peace and you like fairness. You're rising in Virgo, so you come across as thoughtful, grounded, and very detail oriented.
See,
Um,
Virgo's
you're,
like the OCD type, isn't it?
I think
Because I
so.
think that's what I think. And so I think I come across, we were talking about this a few episodes ago with Eric. Like I come across type A, but I'm really very type B.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
So, yep, your Mercury is in Aquarius. So you think fast, you see patterns, and you communicate uniquely. Your Venus is in Pisces. So you're loving, artistic, and dreamy. You love style. Yes. And your
Oh,
Mars is
wow.
in Capricorn. So you're disciplined, hardworking, and you focus on long term goals. Um, and then I won't go through just for the sake of everybody listening. But if you look at yours at the bottom, there's two things. So the first thing kind of goes over what I just said. In the middle, it tells you about the houses. So like
Hmm.
which you have different houses, like fifth house, and then at the very bottom, it tells you it gave me a guide for you to live by. So like based on your houses and they really wanted the time that you were born, the time you were born, like that this is your cheat code down here at the bottom.
Hmm.
So your
Wow.
overall advice is you need to structure your daily life with intention and adaptability, balance work and creative, emotional nourishment, cultivate meaningful relationships, and keep expanding your horizons through learning and new experiences. If you align your actions with your birth chart's code, you'll navigate life, the life simulation with clarity and purpose.
Wow. Well,
But like, think
my
about.
do you have
Go ahead.
co-star? This is where all the memes come from where everyone's like if she asked you what like time you were born, break up with her. And that's like
Yeah.
basically when they're if you're like texting the mom like, "Hey, what time was I born, mom?" and then she answers, "Break up with her." Um
I literally
basically
texted mom yesterday. What time we're living that for?
yeah. Um it's it's an app that does like
Does this?
direct, like, yeah, and it
Oh,
gives you
cool.
like do's and don'ts. So my do today is low tide, log off, and true blues, and my don'ts are red receipts, white lies, and destroy the evidence. um and then there's dive deeper, there's like a whole bunch of stuff, but that's funny. Maybe I do have to like, I do read it every day, and sometimes it randomly lines up and I'm like, why are you telling me not to, like, I don't know, not to argue? And then that's a stupid one because
Um,
I that's a but it'll like weirdly line up sometimes.
yeah. Well, what
Okay.
do you think about it's like such a large topic, I guess, for me to think about. I guess in my head, yes, simulation, it wasn't in the sense that we were originally thinking. Like, do you think that if you're born at a certain place, like latitude, longitude, a certain time, um, like obviously you have a date and and a time, you're birthed into the world with a certain like character base level, and then based on that, based on astrology and how the planets are and how everything aligns, like you just naturally have different strengths and weaknesses, and then the different layers, like they said, okay, then there's a smaller layer about like nature versus nurture, and then the smallest layer about like how you act and your expression, but like at the
Yeah.
basis it aligns with the planets.
I mean, it would make sense, like the way that I'm gonna check small pieces off the list at a time. It would make sense, like the way that the moon carries the
Mm-hmm.
water and the
Mm-hmm.
location of where you are, and your body's made of water, like that
Mm-hmm.
all correlates. Um, I think that, people, not going to yuck your yum, but people believe in Jesus being
Mm-hmm.
risen from the dead and drinking blood and eating the body and stuff like that. And I was recently in a Catholic church for the first time in a while, and I can't remember if I was talking about this on last episode or not,
Mm-hmm.
but oh yeah, basically the Catholic church just reminds me of theater kids. Like, there's a priest, there's costumes, there's musical aspects, we're singing, we're like acting things out, like, people believe in that wholeheartedly. Like, I do think
Mm-hmm.
that, I don't know. Like, I think that I don't know, and I'm never gonna have an answer. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that one, that's a little bit more like digestible, because I do like looking at my horoscope and like being like, oh, this matches me, and I
Mm-hmm.
really dislike being like, because there's always like the skeptic in me, because I'm like always reading it with like, oh, could this relate to anybody else in my life right now? And then I'm like, yeah, so, and then I'm like, then I don't listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
But if maybe it is just like trying to figure out like the way you are, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. And that made me think like, okay, I know, like I kind of mentioned this before. I know that astrology was super important to ancient civilizations, whether it was like telling time or aligning things, or I can't even think of all the examples right now. So they recognized that the stars and the planets and everything were important, and maybe they didn't realize it the way that we're thinking. Oh, we have birth charts and how we're, or maybe they were, but I don't know. I think that's something that they recognized how important it was to figuring out life.
Well, they didn't have all the distractions that we have. Like, there was no TV, there's no phone, there was no internet, there's barely even houses. Like, you're not going to a bar to go have a cocktail with somebody. You're literally, you have what's right in front of
Sorry.
you, you have what's below you, and you have what's above you. And I think like in front of you and below you is easy to be like, okay, this is always there. But above you, you're like, well, obviously somehow whatever's up there has to be so much more vast and like have so many more answers than what we have in front of us
Yep.
and maybe below us. Don't know about that Middle Earth theory, but I believe it. We're like a teeny tiny speck in all this like big stuff, so it's hard to know like what means what, but like maybe our placement is important.
Yeah. I don't
I
know. It's just
wonder I wonder if that means like where you're born, you're supposed to stay. Like, I wonder if like me moving out here is like disrupting it at all, or if like I was born in Danbury, Connecticut. Maybe I was supposed to stay on the East Coast, like to
I don't
be
know. It's the question. Is that
perfectly.
coded? Because I first just did your birthday, and then it needed exactly where you were born and the time. So it does have something to do with like the houses. Like it couldn't give me the houses if I didn't give like the location and the time. Um, but I don't really know enough about the houses, but that's a good theory. Like if we're born somewhere, are we more like is our character, our video game player more adapted to thrive in that place?
Yeah. Well, and I'm even thinking about like reincarnation. I'm like, well, there's crazy stories about how people remember their past lives, which I won't get into now, but those are really fun. And there's usually
Kids,
little kids. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, but like what if like you die and then you level up on a player? Like what if you start as mouse and then your life, or you start as a fly, your lifespan's like 30 seconds. Do you have something, Kate?
No, I'm saying
Or you're
this
just
is
like,
making
oh,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
so
like, oh, I saw your finger.
I got
That's
excited.
like a meme when you're a kid. You're like, oh, I got an idea. um, no, and then you like somebody kills you with a fly swatter, and then like if you were good and you figured yourself out in that 30-second life, then you become a mouse, and then you become a bird, and then you become a cat, and you become a dog, you become a
Hmm.
panther, and then you become a human. Then you can become Bigfoot. Um, but like I wonder if there's like a top of the pyramid of all of that, and you just got to keep like you keep being a human until you figure out your code, and then like cool, you've aced this. Now you can come back as like something bigger. And like I do sort of believe in reincarnation, mostly because of the stories that I hear. I'm just a very
Hmm.
gullible person. Um, and mostly because the stories I hear about people like eerily remembering their past lives. Like there'll be a kid that's like, I used to be your mom last time. Why am I? And like there's traveling souls where like people are made to like be soulmates, whether it's like sisters or like daughter relationships, or like even people and their dogs. Like there's like usually there's a relation, like people know each other throughout their lives, so they're kind of like meant to be born in the same area as them.
That
um,
is true.
but it makes sense with this sort of simulation theory, because I've never thought of the simulation like this, and I don't want to call it the simulation. I just want to call it like
Yeah.
the stars
Okay.
aligning. That
That's a saying,
yeah, exactly. But
right?
I kind of want to think that that ties into reincarnation in a way somehow. But it's hurting my brain. You're right. This is hard to like conceptualize.
I was trying to relate it to your topic. So if the Simpsons were predicting things, that means maybe they were pre-written in their code, or was the things happening in real life pre-written in our code, our real life video game players, and the Simpsons have figured out astrology and could read and predict it.
Maybe manifesting, yeah, and maybe manifesting is like backwards, where like if you're manifesting the right thing, it's going to come true because you're so on track, like you're on your path so
Hmm.
accurately that the things that you want are the things that are supposed to happen to you, so they're going to
And
happen.
you
So
know
if
it.
like let's say I'm manifesting winning $1 million, like
Mhm.
maybe that's my path. It doesn't feel like it's my path. Probably isn't my path. But like versus me manifesting like a record deal. Like that
Mhm.
seems a little more like what is my path than just stumbling across $1 million on the street. So
Yeah.
maybe if it's like if you figured yourself out so much and are so in
Mhm.
line spiritually that you're just being able to see the future, you're not manifesting anything. You're just so on track.
Yeah, and you're like, oh well, this is in my future anyway, so I'm just gonna skip a few steps because it's already mine.
Yeah.
I like it.
And maybe the writers are just really supposed to be writers, and they're supposed to like make people question what's going on. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
sure they lean into it now because now,
I'm
like,
sure.
I'm tempted to go watch The Simpsons to be like, oh my God, I saw that episode when something comes true.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know. It's
true.
also interesting, but
It
I'll send
is.
you what I was reading slash the video because the person explained it really well. But yeah, essentially, we all have a code, like a video game code. and
So
we have to
maybe James
crack
was
it.
right. He was supposed to cheat on me.
That
Au
was in his code.
revoir, butter. Meant to be single forever.
Raisins.
Um,
But yeah, I don't know. It hurts
Interesting.
your brain to think about.
Yeah, it does. And it does, like, it makes me believe, because, like, when you think about it, I want to believe in astrology because I read that and I'm like, I really do want to believe in that. And I want to
Mhm.
believe in reincarnation, but it's like, okay, in what world does that all make sense? This is kind of like mathematizing or like making logic to it, which is kind of cool, where
Mhm.
it's like, okay, maybe I do believe in this and I don't have to just ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't know.
Man. I don't know
This is
either.
some, I don't know. Ever since I looked it up, I was like, I have to just think about this. So if anyone knows anything about that or has any ideas, or send it our way.
See, you have to get this app. You have to get CoStar. We are not sponsored by this. I know that this is viral because it also it will give me updates because I'm friends with Natalie. And so we're
Hmm.
not with Natalie today, but I will show you guys how we're compatible today. So Natalie is hurt because their boo liked someone else's latest selfie. Is what it says. I wonder if that happened.
I wonder if that
You're hurt because you're tired of being forced to be the adult friend. Yeah. Um,
happened.
and that's just it. It's just like silly little like oh, this is
Interesting.
part of you. What's
Was it a
Winston
cat?
meowing at me? Come here, Winnie. You want to say hi to the pod? Oh, hello, Winston.
Hi, Bubba's. Has he been a terror lately?
He hasn't killed anything recent. Well, not. I lied. He hasn't killed anything and brought them inside recently. Um,
Okay.
he's been killing, like, he has seasons. He'll get like gophers. He'll get like moles and mice and stuff. There was a baby mouse outside that was adorable about a week ago, and I'm like, it was barely the size of like my thumb, and I'm like, you had to kill the baby mouse.
So
um
tiny.
I know. And then, but he's on, what are they called, lizards, like the little lizards running around, like, and they're like shiny and blue, so he'll just leave them scattered around and they'll like glisten in the sun, and it's really fucked up. Yeah,
I
and
love
then
this.
he left one like half alive, and I'm like, I can't kill it, but
Yeah.
somebody needs to kill it because Winston, like, it's dying and it's suffering. And yeah, so
Oh,
he's just a little asshole. He should be an indoor
man.
cat for like humanity's sake, but I don't
He's a
know.
crazy kid.
He's gonna stay a cat next life, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, he hasn't
He
leveled up
hasn't
yet.
he hasn't figured it out. It's okay. I think he likes being a cat. I maybe we got it wrong. Like, maybe you get to be a cat. Maybe that's like the
Maybe you
highest.
start as a
Maybe.
human and you work
Mind
backward.
blown. Why did they have the Sphinx statue in Egypt? Because cat is the top reincarnation.
That's what
You
we're working
When
towards.
you win, you're a cat.
We're a cat.
You're a cat. That is the top. People feed you, they pet you, you lay and you sleep all day, you get to scurry around and have fun. You're faster than every fucking else, except for a car. But if you're in
Yeah.
Egypt, ain't nobody gonna hit you.
So maybe we're
Hmm.
working to be cats.
Winston, are you my god? Winston. I need to make like
Like,
the a post for this episode and it be Winston's head in the sunshine from the Teletubbies.
yes. And you know how they
Ah!
say, I know this is not what they're talking about when they say this, but you know how they say cats have 9 lives and they mean that,
Mhm.
like, oh, like they're just flexible and they're not going to die. What
Yeah.
if they literally have like 9 past lives?
What if they have 9 past lives? Or what if the lucky number 9, they get 9 lives being king of the world? Like, he's figured himself out so much that he gets to be a cat, like, and king for 9 times, 9 of his lives.
Think about the
So
Lion King.
180 years, almost like 200 years. The Lion King.
Like he's
Mm.
king of the jungle.
Wow, it
I think we
truly.
cracked the code.
I think we cracked the code too. This is like a mind blowing episode. What do you guys think? If you have anything to say on this subject, please comment below because we're still trying to grasp it. My little brain's going in circles right now, but I think we nailed it down. It makes sense. The ancient Egypt is just so much smarter than us. But yeah, any comments, questions, anything, post it down below, comment it, share us with your friends so you could talk about this with them too for hours and hours and hours long. I promise this is a conversation you're just going to want to keep talking about. Give us a big like, big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not, why aren't you? Go check us out on YouTube. If not, we also still like you. But please rate and review our podcast. It really helps us get people to hear us and get our word out there. So, anyways, thank you guys. And we will see you next week. Scooch, scooch. Bye.
Two wheels are better than four. From the mountains to the shore, find us rolling up to the pub where 17 scooters club.